What is happening, everybody, and welcome to another episode of our Miata build. So, a lot has happened on this thing since the last time you guys have seen it. Got the rear bumper on, front bumper's on, taillights are on, headlights are on, our center plate is all on. We kind of mocked up and mounted this duckbill. That's just temporary. I have a whole nother trunk, but I couldn't help myself. So a couple other things we got going on in here is got the whole interior pretty much put back in. We are waiting on some LRB door cards, and then we will go ahead and get those covered and put in. But I am also waiting on a pair of seats. So I got a smoking deal on some NRG Sports that were used on eBay. Picked them up and I'm waiting for them to arrive. We're going to marry those to some DNA Motoring low pro seat mounts for the Miata. And the seat should be here Monday, so that'll be really cool. So I'm definitely excited about that. Got everything all hooked up. I did also order a new cluster hood. Ours has just one of those clips still left inside of there, but the problem is that the bottom holes are broken. So you can put hardware in there all you want. It's just not, there's nothing there to hold it. So I just ordered a new one. They're like $30. We do also have a new shift knob coming from BAM Shifts. I cannot wait for that thing. Is actually super cool. We got a hybrid knob with an engraved sleeve, I guess is what it is. I don't know, pretty stoked about it. I was really excited to run this one. Had this beer handle for a while. That actually has a topper on it, but I took it off because it was ridiculously tall. A couple other things. Obviously you got the hood and fenders and headlight assemblies all on, which is super nice. I did go ahead also and get our aluminum overflow expansion tank installed. It showed up today, which I thought was cool. I am still waiting on the silicone hose kit to show up. It's supposed to be here like on Wednesday, so I'm very excited about that, so we can actually get this thing fired up. You know, like this line here is temporary. This line is obviously not hooked up. I did also go ahead and get from Mas Miata an intake. So we have a new intake coming, go in this section here. It has a nice little heat shield. Kind of moves this a little bit further out of the way as well, just to keep everything away from the heat. I think I might also throw some heat shielding on that harness for the MAF, but we'll see. Everything in the bay is pretty much hooked up. We did test fire it a little bit, and it ran okay. I mean, obviously we're blocking the idle air control valve and all that stuff, but came out pretty good. It sounds really good. These X-Force headers, they sound awesome. They go back to a Goodwin Racing mid pipe, and then, or test pipe, race pipe, whatever you want to call it, cat delete. And then it goes just to this eBay catback I got, and I really do like the catback. So for our whole exhaust systems, we are on those Rev Shift 95A mounts. You can kind of see them right down in there. I also did polyurethane mounts for all of the exhaust. Nothing crazy, they're just a little bit stiffer because I figured since the rear diff also has poly mounts, it would just be better if everything's a little bit more solid. I'd hate to have the exhaust trying to move around a bunch, when we're driving it hard and possibly cause a crack or anything. So I got all that stuff done, right? So I said we're waiting on the silicone hoses, we're waiting on the seats to show up and the rails. A couple other things. Oh yeah, I got some Edelbrock Russell brake lines, stainless steel brake lines. They are on the way. That's why we don't have front tires on yet. I dug out these VMS lug nuts. I had them. I've got a set for my Speed 3, and then I think they sent me another set, so we had another set just laying around, and they work perfectly. They're M12 by 1.5, and they work great. So I want to show you guys the lights we got installed. We also did LED headlights, so they're pretty cool. I'll show you guys those. Let me hook the battery up really quick, and I can also then show you guys our cluster lights. Oh yeah, and in case I haven't shown you guys back here, kind of started to put some stuff back together. We got this fill neck and breather tube cover for our fuel tank back on. We got this cover here. I'm going to soundproof in here just a little bit so we haven't gone too crazy. And then I did also change out the negative and positive terminal ends, and I made a wire that runs from here to our battery, just because the one that was on there was really frayed. So now that we got the battery all hooked up, go ahead and turn on our lights. Really happy with how the cluster turned out. I think it's really cool. I'm definitely a big fan of that pink glow. I do also have one down here. Can't really see it because of the cover, but I'm sure at night you can. And then we replaced all the bulbs back there. Those are also pink, but it just, for some reason, when it shines through, it just diffuses the light and it looks white. Pretty cool. Actually, the side markers are super bright also. So these are red for the rear, and they're all LEDs. I cut off the old connector that sits back here. We also have LED bulbs coming for here. They're actually switchbacks. So they'll be white when the lights are on, and then they'll go to amber when you flick your signals. But basically, yeah, we cut these just off. I mean, these things, this one we cleaned up a little bit, but you can see it's still pretty bad in there. A lot of these are pretty bad. So just cut them off, put Deutsch connectors on, and then put Deutsch connectors on the end of these LED lights. These normally come with just like a little spade that slips into the 194 bulb, but you know, figure Deutsch connectors a little bit better. I'm gonna shut the lights off so I can show you guys how bright these are. So I mean, these put off a lot of light. I'm actually considering maybe tinting them, because I mean they are very bright parking lights. Good though in the snow for sure. So let me turn on our headlights. So as you guys can see, they are this nice amber color, very cool. And then when I flick my high beams on, they are actually a cool white. So pretty cool to have the option to have both. I'm a really big fan of yellow headlights. I think they just look super cool, especially on like 90s cars. I'm pretty sure we have to dial these in a little bit. I mean, obviously we're on jack stands right now, so it's not going to be where they're going to be pointed, but I think they look really cool. The only downside is when the headlights are off, you're not going to be able to tell obviously that they're yellow, because I didn't do any kind of tint or anything on them, so they'll just be clear, which is cool. I mean, I might later on down the road tint them yellow. I have this really cool spray from Japan. It's called Vans. Actually, I think I have it over here, because I was considering doing it, but this stuff works really cool. I think this is actually my last can, but straight from the motherland, and this stuff works great. It's basically like the Japanese equivalent of nightshades, except you can get that stuff in a bunch of colors, not just yellow. You get like pink, purple, green, blue, whatever. Pretty cool. So unfortunately, this isn't like a first start video, which is kind of a bummer, but there are a few things that we are going to be doing while we wait. So I went ahead and got this driver's side rear hub assembly. I broke it all down, cleaned it up, and then I got the old bearings out, put the new bearing in, new C-clip. I'm just waiting on the actual hub to go into this hub bearing into the knuckle. That should be here soon. I was gonna use the old one, but it is pretty beat up, and I didn't really feel like trying to get that bearing seat off. So these are the new rear calipers, which we are obviously waiting to put on until our stainless steel brake lines show up. But for the most part, I got almost this whole side ready to go. Like I said, we're gonna be pulling these off and replacing the line, so I'm just gonna take it off from here. But I got the coilover on. It's still loose down here, in case we have to take it off to get the knuckle and the CV axle in here. But you can kind of see that exhaust a little bit back there. Pretty nice, runs through, doesn't hit anything. Those are those polyurethane mounts. I definitely am a big fan of those. The exhaust like hardly moves, which is great. I mean, it still has like a little bit of play, but I think because everything is polyurethane, I think that's going to be the best way to go. So that'll pretty much wrap it up for this little mini update on the Miata. When all that stuff shows up, I might put some stuff out. I'm also now on TikTok, which is kind of cool, I guess. I'm not a huge fan of like shorts platforms, but figured to go ahead and do it so I can maybe expand my reach a little bit. But I'm gonna put up some little teasers and stuff. I'll probably put up little shorts here on YouTube and over on TikTok. Also on Instagram when the seats show up. We get them kind of test fitted and all that jazz. But that's really all I got for you guys. I appreciate everybody watching. We're like over 500 subscribers right now, which is absolutely ridiculous. I think it's really cool. So I appreciate all of you guys. And I hope you guys are enjoying the build on the Miata. So until the next one, I hope you guys get out there and you get those projects rolling. Drop comments down. This is my first NA Miata, so if you have any like tips and tricks and suggestions or whatever, man, drop them down below. I need help. I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.